Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be studying about few important topics of the Python programming language. We started with the Python programming language in the last two videos, and today we'll be discussing about keywords, variables, identifiers as well as comments that are present in the Python programming language. Okay, so stay tuned till the end to learn about all these concepts. So starting with Python keywords. Now, what is a keyword? As I have written here, a keyword is a reserved word. And what do we mean by reserved? A reserved word means that anything whose purpose is already defined and you can only use that word for the purpose for which it is defined. Okay, so these are the words that have special meanings. They have a particular function that has been assigned to them, and they can be used to perform that function only. You cannot create new items, new elements with the same name as the keywords. Okay, so what are the examples of keywords that are used or that are present in the Python language? Like the Boolean true and false are keywords. Okay, then the is operator is a keyword. The for and while keywords, they are used for looping in Python. Then we have if, else, and also elif. So these are the words that have specific meaning. Similarly, return, def. Return is used to return a value from a function, and def is used to define a function. And there is a whole lot of keywords, and the complete list is given in your NCERT textbook. So for short and for specific understanding, what you have to remember is that keyword is any word whose purpose, whose function is already defined, and it can only be used for that particular function. Okay. Now coming to variables. So what is a variable? A variable is any element or any item to which we have assigned some memory, or anything that is stored in memory. Okay, so what you can say or what you can understand is that a variable is any kind of data, and that data has a name as well as it has a value. So a variable has a name which is known as identifier, which we'll be studying in the next slide, and it has a value. So the value of the variable can either be a string, that means it can be a group of characters, or it can be a number, any kind of numeric value, or it can be a combination of characters as well as digits. So it can be alphanumeric value also. And if the variable has a value which is a string, suppose ABC is the value of a variable, then that particular value has to be enclosed in either single quotes or double quotes whenever we are assigning value to that variable. Okay, so we'll be learning about how to create a variable, how to assign values to a variable in detail at the end of this video. But for now, you have to understand that in Python, any element, any object, since Python is an object-oriented language, so every object or element is called a variable which has a value and a name. Okay. Now there is a saying in Python that is variable declaration is implicit in Python. And what do we mean by that? Okay, so if you are coming from a programming background which involves C++ and C programming languages, then you might have noticed that whenever in those languages you have to create a variable, you first define the data type of that variable. That means first you write down in the program what type of variable it is, and then you come down and assign a particular value to the variable. But it is not so in Python. So even if you do not have the programming background, you must understand this statement like this, that whenever you create a variable, suppose I give a name to the variable as, say, student. Student is the name of my variable, and I assign the value, say, student S1. Okay, since it is a string, that means it is a combination of characters as well as digits, or a combination of characters only is also a string. So this is my variable name and this is my variable value. So when I write down this statement, this statement is doing two tasks. It is defining the variable whose name is student, and it is also assigning the value to that variable, and that value is the string s1. Okay, so this statement exactly means that whenever a variable is assigned a value for the very first time, then two things happen. That variable gets declared, that means the variable gets created, as well as it gets defined, that means its value gets assigned. So in this statement, we are creating the variable named student and we are assigning its value, which is s1. Okay, so variable declaration is implicit. That means implicit means automatic, or it happens whenever you assign a value to a variable, automatically the new variable to which you are assigning the value, it gets created also. Okay, now one thing you have to remember about variables is that whenever you run your code gets interpreted, as we learned that Python is an interpreted language, and the Python shell or the Python interpreter replaces all the variables with their values at the time of execution, or at the time when it is interpreting the entire Python code. Okay, so if you have written certain variables in your Python code and you have assigned them some values, then every time you refer to those variables by their name, the Python interpreter will replace those names with the value of those variables while interpreting your Python code, and then it will run the code. Okay, now coming to identifiers. As I just mentioned, identifiers are the names that we assign to a variable, or in future when you will be studying about functions in Python, then also you will be learning that the name of the function is also an identifier. So anything that identifies a variable is known as an identifier. As just like your name is your identity, similarly the name of a variable is its identity. That is why it is known as an identifier. Now there are certain rules for writing identifiers. Just like I mentioned that in the previous slide, I created a variable and gave its name as student. So this is the identifier that I created. But does it follow all the rules of writing the identifiers? Let's check. So the first and foremost rule of writing an identifier is that your identifier should either begin with an uppercase or lowercase alphabet, or you can start your identifier with an underscore. You cannot start your identifier with any digit. Okay, but after the first character of the identifier, you can use any combination of digits or alphabets or underscore. There is no restriction. So you need to maintain a suitable acceptable length of the identifier and follow these two rules while naming your identifiers. And 2 points that you must remember: that you should never use a keyword as your name of the variable or as your identifier, and no special symbols like hash, exclamation, and any exponentiation operator, dollar. No such special symbols are allowed in the names of identifiers. Okay, no kind of special symbols that are present on your keyboard are allowed. Okay, so you only have to remember the first two rules for writing the identifier, and you have to remember the last two rules that must follow the identifier naming rules. Okay, so this was all about identifiers. Now coming to comments. So Python allows the programmer or the Python code developer to write down comments in the Python code, and comments are written with a hash symbol. So whenever you are writing some Python code, suppose all this is your Python code, and at a particular line you need to write down a comment. So you will first write down this hash symbol, and then anything that comes after this hash symbol till the end of the line will be treated as the comment. So comments are generally used when you are working in large teams and your code will be used by other team members. So they are used to enhance understanding of the code. They are also used for maintenance purposes. Suppose you are writing certain code right now and you are using specific versions of libraries and specific reason for defining a certain function. So you need comments because you want to convey the purpose and the versions or any important information to maybe future developers that would be working on this code. So that for that purpose also, you just include comments in your Python code, and they increase the understandability and maintainability of your code. Also, sometimes you are writing a particular function that requires certain output, or that requires certain input, or it will generate a kind of output. So generally, good programming practices tell you to specify in the very beginning of your code that what will be the input to this program and what will be the expected output from this program, and all that is written by writing a hash symbol or by including comments. Okay, so one important thing that you need to remember about comments are that anything that is written after the hash symbol till the end of the line is ignored by the Python interpreter. The Python interpreter does not treat it as code. It just ignores that line and it moves forward. Okay. Alright, so with all the concepts that we have learned today, the keywords, identifiers, variables and comments, let's get quickly acquainted with some kind of code that is given in your book, NCERT book. So in this program, you are asked to display the value of variables in Python. So as you can see, the first line is a comment and everything beginning after the hash symbol till the end of the line will be ignored. And similarly, the second line is also a comment. Okay, so both these lines just inform you that this is a program whose program number is 5.2 and it is used to display the value of variables. This is the purpose of the program. Okay, now what is happening in this line? Here you are creating a new variable whose identifier is message. It is following all the rules of the naming conventions that are used for naming the identifiers. And this line is also assigning the value to the variable message. The variable is message and the value is the string keep smiling. And since it is a string, it is not a number or a numeric value. That is why it is enclosed in double quotes. You can also use single quotes here. Okay, now if you have to print the value of this particular variable on your shell or on the output screen, this is the function that we'll be learning about in the later classes, which is the print function. So you just specify this keyword. This is again a keyword. Print is a keyword. Okay, and in the brackets of the print function, you specify the name of the variable that you want to print. Okay. Now, this is the second variable that you are creating in your program. The name of this variable is user number and it is assigned a numeric value. That is why there are no quotes. And similarly, we are printing the value of this particular variable also. Okay, so you will get the output, keep smiling, the value of first variable and the value of second variable 101. Before this, a string will also be printed, which is user number is. So we'll be learning about the variations of print statement in further classes. Now coming to program number 5.3, this program asks you to find the area of a rectangle which has the length 10 units and breadth 20 units. So as you all know, the area of a rectangle is given by length into breadth. So first, if you need to find the area of a rectangle, you need to create three kinds of variables. The first variable that will be storing the value of length, which is 10. Okay. The second, the variable breadth that will store the value of breadth, which is 20. And the third variable which will store the value of area, which is computed by multiplying length and breadth. So that is what it is done. The starting two statements are comments. The third statement creates a variable named length, assigns it the value 10. So this statement is not only creating the variable length, it is also defining its value. Okay, so it's a variable declaration. Now similarly, we create the variable breadth, assign it the value, and in the variable area we multiply the length and the breadth and assign the result into this variable. So area will now contain 10 into 20, which is the value 200, and when you print it, you will get this for this particular output, which is length into breadth, which is 10 into 20 equal to 200. Now coming to the next program, this program asks you to find the sum of two numbers. So before writing these programs, you must know how many variables you are going to need. So since there are two numbers, you are going to need two variables, each of which will store one number. Okay, so num1 is the first variable that stores the first number, which is 10. Second variable is num2, which stores the number 20, and the sum will be stored in this third variable called result, which is num1 plus num2. So the addition of two numbers, and when we print the result, that means we are printing the value that is stored in this variable, we get the result as 30. Okay. So that's all for today's lecture. I hope you understood all the four concepts. If you have any doubts, please let us know in the comment section below. You can also mention any specific topics that you want to understand first, or any particular suggestions that you have for our lectures and videos. So thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video, mind your exam, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you understood the concepts. Thank you so much.